Good morning, everybody. Welcome to what's usually sunny California, but today it's foggy. I'm here in Southern California, so not sure what it's like everywhere else today. But man, I was actually talking about this. I had my wife on my Follow Live yesterday, and we were talking about it. From like May through October, we've had, even as recent as last week, we've had temperatures in the 100 degrees almost throughout. It's annoying sometimes how hot it is here. So we actually look forward to when this is like our favorite weather. It's 70s for like a week, and then next week it's going to be in the 80s again, pushing mid 80s, 86, I think, something like that next week. So we just don't get fall. We don't get the foliage change. I had a connection, I think it was last week, for Follow Me Friday, put up pictures of where they were. I believe it was Vermont, but anyways, the color foliage was beautiful. Hey, Mohammed, don't do that, because that'll get you blocked over here. So, oh yeah, Mohammed, you just been blocked. So I'll do that right now, and you can just go away. Look, this show is about helping people, not about you selling your products. So you have just been unfollowed and blocked. This is what happens when you're stupid. Don't be stupid. Okay? For the rest of you who are still in my network, Muhammad can't see the show anymore. Just magically got kicked out, and he's gone. Just like that. That's what happens when you spam my show. Okay, Joseph from Ghana, welcome. Good morning. And hello, Delita. I'm from India. Yeah, it's a little bit late there, but it's 9:41 in the evening in India. It's one of the reasons why I do it now, as opposed to like doing a little bit later on a Saturday morning. I do that. Good morning, Penny. I do that because, and VJ, sorry I missed you, because I was dealing with Mohammed, who was spamming my post. I can't stand people spamming. I don't understand it, why they think that's effective. It actually is counter effective, Mohammed Ashraf. Here's why. Because when you treat me like I'm just, a piece of junk, or you look at me as only potential income and not a human being, it doesn't endear me to you. It makes me think that you're icky, and I don't want to have anything to do with you or the company you represent. So if you're a company out there and you're paying people to spam people for you, guess what you're doing? You're ruining your own reputation. And that could be why you don't have a job. There are many, thanks, James. There are many people who don't have a job right now because they irritate employers and recruiters with the style, their method of asking for help. So just like Muhammad, you really need to think about how you approach people, how you treat them, and that could be the reason why you're not landing a job. I'm going to tell you something I've told a lot of people in the last couple of weeks. 80% of folks. Now, look, I run a job site website, right? projecthelpyougrow.com. Go there. I have jobs. I have millions of job listings on my website. So I run a job board, okay? But 8 out of 10 people are not finding jobs through the job boards, including my own. As good as I think mine is, and if you go there, I think you'll agree, it's really well done. But the thing that I'm doing more than anything that's helping people on Project Help You Grow is I'm teaching them strategy, and I'm helping them to boost their personal SEO value across the entire internet. I'm helping you promote your LinkedIn. I'm helping you promote your personal resume website. I'm helping you get exposure with your YouTube. Anything like that you have, I'm helping to build it. How? Because the power of my website is undeniable, right? I have an authority score that oscillates from the 20s to the 50s. It oscillates because of traffic, but even if you have an SEO backlink for your LinkedIn that's in the 20s, that'll get you usually on the first page of Google when they do a Google search. When you have a 50, it will be your first result. Okay. So These are some of the things that I teach. There are so many spams. Yeah. Like my inbox on LinkedIn is full of nothing but spam. I get very few like real messages anymore because my network size, when you get to the 200,000 level, people, again, they make some false presumptions. I am not a millionaire, despite what anybody might think. I'm not a millionaire. Okay. I'm not famous. I'm not a celebrity. I don't have any more influence than you or the next person goes. Right. But I get all these messages from people because I own Bowman Digital Media. I own a company. So, and I own Project Help You Grow, and I own Bowman Coaching. So they think, let me send him a spam message about everything: accounting, recruiting, design work, website. I even get people who send me spam messages asking me if they can do the work that I get paid to do by other people. You know what I mean? Just yesterday, somebody on Facebook said, "Hey, why don't you use this company to help you with your social media management?" I'm like, really? Do you not know what Bowman Digital Media is? I mean, this is one of my quote unquote friends, right? Okay, so the point is, spam doesn't work. If you really want to be effective at networking, which I want you to get involved in my networking events because I'll teach you how to build rapport. Rapport, whether you're in sales, which I've been in sales for 20 plus years, okay? I'm better at sales than most people. You know why? Because I don't walk in and say, "Hey, will you buy my widget or my service?" I get to know them. I get to know their company. I get to know what they're trying to accomplish and what type of issues they're running into. And then I think about solutions that will help them. And some of those solutions incorporate my products at times, and some of them don't. But when I make friends with people and then I show them that I'm not just about myself, I'm not just self absorbed, I look for win win strategies. Then it becomes a no brainer to do business with me. I'm not selling them anything. I'm proposing a solution, and they either buy into the solution or they don't. And if they don't, that's okay. It just means I have more work to do. But I don't treat people like, you're not going to get any form nothing from me. I don't use form letters for nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to, "Oh, thanks for connecting with me on my network. Let me know when we can have 15 minutes together to talk." Or you could just read my profile and we can talk in the comments of posts, because I post pretty much every 2 hours. Between me and all the companies I represent, I'm posting all day, every day. If you really want to find me, I'm about the easiest person in the world to find. You could Google my name. You could just put a .com after my name. You could go to Project Help You Grow. You could go to Bowman Digital Media. I mean, I'm super, super simple to find. You know what I mean? But I don't have 10 to 15 minutes to meet with 200,000 people who ask for me to meet with them every time we connect. It's like, no, dude, do you think that's helping you? I agree that meeting offline is a great thing to do. I do speed networking with Mike and Ira on Tuesdays. I do the Exit Your Way roundtables on Thursdays, and I do Follow Me Live every Friday, every single Friday. And guess what? You could jump in and talk to me on any of my shows. But the point is, like, you shouldn't ask for things you haven't earned. That's a big mistake with spam. They're asking, like this guy Muhammad, "Hey, come check out my YouTube, whatever." I didn't even read the full message. You understand what I'm saying? They're asking you for things, but you don't know them. You don't know their company. You don't know anything about them. If you ask for too much before you give, then you're missing out. Okay, so let's turn this for job seeker advice, because that's what the show is. If you want to be more successful, instead of saying, "Hey, can you help me find a job?" the minute you connect with somebody, or even before you connect with them, don't do that. Figure out things that you can do to help those people or get to know about those people. Build a relationship. Get your hands interlocked with theirs. An easy way to do that on LinkedIn is to simply go to their posts and comment on their posts about things that are relevant to their post, not you. As they see you more and get to know you more in the comments of their posts, they'll start to know your name. They'll start to engage with you back and build that relationship. So then you don't even have to tell them you're a job seeker. I mean, it's usually pretty obvious, right? People are smart. I meet with people all the time. They're job seekers, in the tune of probably 100,000. Out of the 200,000 people that follow me, at least 100,000 of them are job seekers. Okay. I know that. I'm looking for ways to help them. When I get to know that you're an electrical engineer and you're in Indiana and you need a job, and then one of my employers posts a job about electrical engineering on Project Help You Grow, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to send you a little message and say, hey, I know you're looking for a job. There's a new job just listed on my site that you would be perfect for. Or one of my recruiting friends, this has happened, I don't know, it was about a month ago, I guess now, but somebody had tagged me in a post. And in the post, it was a person who had just been laid off. They're a recruiter themselves, and they had just been laid off. And they're like, hey, does anybody know anybody looking for recruiters? And I did. Pan and Nose. Pan and Nose was looking for recruiters. So guess what I did? I commented. I tagged the owner of Pan and Nose. And I said, hey, owner of Pan and Nose, Kelly Robinson, happen to know anybody looking for recruiters? And they got an interview like that. That's how networking really works. That's how people are really finding jobs. 8 out of 10 people are finding jobs like that. So if your job search doesn't look like that, if you're one of these people, you're going on to any of them. I'm going to pick on Project Help You Grow. You're going on Project Help You Grow every single day, and you're filling out 50 applications to find a job every day. You feel really, really good because you're working hard, but you're wasting your time. 100%. I don't care what website you're doing that on. If you're applying to more than a couple jobs a day, you're wasting your time, because to do the job submission correctly, you need a lot more time for each one. You cannot use the same resume for 2 jobs, not even at the same company, unless it's the exact same position and they happen to have 2 openings. That would be the exception, right? You have to change it. How? You have to keyword infuse your resume for that specific job, because the words, the terminologies, everything is going to be a little bit different. And if you don't keyword match, even at the same company, you're not going to make the grade. You might make it for one or the other, but look, this is what too many people are doing. They pay a resume writer, somebody who does it for a living, to write their resume. And they think, okay, well, I just paid, I'm going to use my favorite one now, Curtis Tompkins over at Job Ready Today. I just used Curtis to write my resume. So I'm not going to touch that sucker. I'm just going to use that every single time I apply, because he's a professional resume writer. And Curtis, if I had him on the show right now, would tell you you're a fool. Because if you don't keyword match, you will not get the interview. There are too many people out there who are doing it correctly. And that's your competition. The competition for jobs right now is super high, in case you hadn't noticed. 20 million unemployed people out there. That's a lot. 20 million people vying for the same jobs. So that's the candidate pool right now. And that doesn't even include the people who have a job right now, who are still looking for a better job right now. You understand what I'm saying? We have no way of knowing how many people are like that. Some people call those underemployed. I have whole lessons that I teach for how to search for a job incognito that targets, or the audience for that is the people who have a job who are still looking for a better job. There are always people like that. Okay. So I haven't answered any questions yet. You have a question? It's called Ask Ira, Job Seekers Q&A. I've done a lot of the answering without any of the cues. So let me get off of what I want to talk about, and let's talk about what you want to talk about. Oh, wait a minute. Do we have another spammer? What is this? What is that? Current spam cam. I don't know what that is. I'm not going to look at it. Hopefully it's not spam. It might be anti-spam, which would be great. If it is, I appreciate that. I am Joseph. Good morning or good evening. I have a career question. I'm an accountant trying to get into finance. Okay, so what is the question, Didi? Are you asking about, how to transition? Ask the question. Zagreer calling. I don't know what that means. I definitely don't know what that means. I definitely want to learn to network. Yeah, networking it's a skill that most of you don't have, but it basically comes down to this. And I'm going to give you an example from my own life about networking. When I was young, as a young professional in my 20s, I would go to these networking events with a stack of cards, right? Where's my cards? Okay. So here's my cards. Got my cards. So I would walk around the room with my stack of cards and I'd be like, boom, boom, you get a card, you get a card, you get a card. Wouldn't talk to people. My objective was to get my card into the hand of everybody in the room and to get as many of their cards in return as I could. But regardless if they gave me a card or not, I was giving them one of mine because I thought, well, now they know who I am. Dumb. That's the dumbest thing that you could do at a networking event. Instead, if you can get a hold of the guest list or the attendee list ahead of time, I want you to research some people and figure out who you think would make a good networking partner. Now, that could be a good customer for you. That could also be a good brand champion for you, right? So sometimes we're looking for people that we think could send us leads. And sometimes we're looking for people who could buy our products. Now, as a job seeker, you're looking for people who could either hire you or maybe refer you to people who are hiring. So sales and job seeking have a lot of parallels in, getting hired or getting someone to refer you out is kind of similar, okay, as a sales track, which again would be to purchase or to refer you out, okay, send you leads. So now what I do instead, if I can research the audience, the attendee list beforehand, I'm going to do some research. I'm going to know what they look like. I'm going to know where they work. I'm going to know some things about them. I'm going to check them out on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. Now, a lot of you don't do that, and you should. Like, for example, I'm on all those platforms. You want to know me? Find me on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. Find me on Instagram. You'll learn more about me, right? It takes a little bit of time and effort networking. So does building a relationship. It's about time. I made a whole video series about time the other day. 60 seconds of Bowman coaching. The last video that I put out there for free advice for you guys is time and the importance of time. Because it's the only thing we can't buy. You get the same amount of time I do. How did you use it? How did I use it? Right? That's what makes our lives different. The strategies a lot of times make difference. The amount of time that we invest in things makes different. Look, you could start wherever you start. I started where I started, and for those of you who think I was born with a silver spoon, I've slept outside on the cement with no pillow, no blanket, no nothing, right? So being homeless sucks. I've been there. I know what it's like, okay? You can go from that to, I've had six-figure income for many years. And I didn't graduate college until I was in my late 30s. You could do it with a high school degree. A lot of this is effort or lack thereof. And my friend Curtis actually wrote a post today. He's like, don't let excuses get in the way of your progress. And it's 100% true. We can feel bad about a situation and still bust our butt to get out of it, right? Self-improvement can happen no matter where you are, as long as you don't allow those excuses to justify, as justification in your mind. You've got to desire to get better, and then you've got to think about a strategy that will help you get out of it, and then you've got to work your tail off to get out of it. And that's how you climb, right? Networking is not about how many people you know. It's about how many people you know really well. There is an element to having a large network. I would never want to lose my large network. Okay. I would never say, hey, you know what? This really sucks. I'm going to go back to having a small network. I never would want that. Okay. So when you're networking with folks at an event, what I want you to do is not race around the room. I want you to ask questions of people. Stand there and listen to the answers. And then when they stop talking, I want you to ask them another question, because most people's favorite subject is themselves. So you get them talking about themselves. They're not going to remember really what you talked about in most cases, anyways, but they will remember how you made them feel. And you made them feel good because they were talking about you. Now you can learn a lot about them and you can use that for follow-up conversations. When you ask somebody 3 or 4 questions and they give you the answers, the next question out of your mouth could be, hey, can I get your card so we can follow up? Now that's in-person networking. Right now, we're not even doing that, right? So we're doing virtual networking, but it's the same thing. Hey, instead of can I get your card, let's connect on LinkedIn so I can, keep up with you. And you just let them talk about themselves for 10 minutes. They will connect with you. That's the easiest way to network on LinkedIn. Friend asked me, one friend whom I asked for reference while looking at a resume, he said, since I made my academic records in Java format, including percentage is reducing my exposure. Is it true? Anyone can help? Thanks in advance. Anyone could help. First of all, I'm going to help you with that statement. No, not anyone can help. Be very careful who you trust with this type of question, because there's so much bad information out there. You don't want it. Okay. You don't want to follow blindly someone who's leading you astray. You got to be careful who you trust. So I'm going to presume for a moment that you know that I know a lot about the ATS. In fact, I'll put my knowledge of the ATS up against anybody's. Okay. So let me help you with this. You don't want to use tabular format. Okay. If you need to know the format for the ATS, you do not have to guess at all. I'm going to give you a link and I want you to go there and I want you to read it because I have the formats. In fact, I'll just pull it up. Hang on a second. We'll put this on. We'll put this on the show. Pardon me as I scroll. Oh, I thought it was. I went too far. The fun of not having this set up before I start. This is the problem with live fire questions is, sometimes it's hard to keep up with. Oh, it's so funny. I was right. It's there, but it's not there. Where is it? Oh my goodness. It's like my blog isn't there. The blog is there, but the one I'm looking for, I'll send it to you guys as soon as I find it. So what it is it is the blog that I wrote on resumes and how to set it up 100% so that you are ATS compliant. If you don't know what ATS is, it's the applicant tracking software. And companies use it in part. There it is right there. So weird. I don't know why this is doing this. It's sometimes on the one side and sometimes on the other. Okay, so here it is. I want you to go to this link. Let me pull it up. Where did I put it? Go to this link right here. And I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So come to ATS screening strategy, how to earn an interview. One of the things that I teach a lot in this, but the very first thing I teach about is file format. Here are the file formats that you can use. Docs, doc, text. These are the ones. RTF is another one you can use. I didn't know about that at the time that I wrote the article, but it's another one that you can use. That makes very small file sizes, by the way. Like when you see it, it's a resume of like 4K, not 500K, not 250K, not 1.2 megs, but literally like 4K, 5K, something like that. You go, there's no way the information's in there. And then you open it up and it's all there. And you're like, wow, how do they compress it that much? But it's a compressed file format. So pretty cool. But I talk about everything. Look at this: artistic style, columns, font size, font type, um, standard sections, graphics, misspelled words, acronym keywords. It's like, for example, font type. You stick with Arial, Georgia, Tahoma. I don't even know how to say that one. Trebuchet, Trebuchet, maybe. Miranda or New Times Roman. These are the ones that I recommend for file format or for font type. And then font size, nothing smaller than 10. Stay away from acronyms, or make sure that if you use the acronym, you define it at the same time. So just be careful with all that stuff, okay? Now, read this article, and it'll help you with, again, I'm going to show you the picture because that's how you're going to find it if you're just looking through my site. But read that article, and then you won't have to guess what works and what doesn't work, right? And that was for you, Maharshi, I think is how you say that. Anyways, let's see who's next. We got. I have this live option on LinkedIn. How can I see the comments when I stream? Yeah, that's not what this show's about. I'm not here to teach you how to run your live stream. I hate the auto response on LinkedIn. Yeah, auto response. I don't use it. Look, I don't use any automated, nothing. Everything you get from me is 100% live. It's me. I don't automate my posts. I don't automate my responses. I don't use any artificial intelligence to, engage with you. If I engage with you, it's me. Hello, guys. Hello. I need a job. Okay. That's not a question. It's a statement. Projecthelpyougrow.com, or you can ask me a question here, but I'm not a mind reader. I mean, what is it that you need help with? I don't know. Hey, guys from New Delhi and from Haiti and from Egypt. Love Curtis. Yeah, I love Curtis too. Curtis is a good friend of mine, and he's a client of mine too. So I really appreciate Curtis a lot. Hello, sir. I'm from India, and I want to ask you, I'm searching for a job opportunities abroad. Do I get this show every week? I mean, I really do. Can I get a job without authorization? No. Well, I mean, yes, if you want to work remotely and stay in India, then you could. Is that what you mean? How can I get sponsorship or visa? They just hand them out. What you do is you just say, hey, I want to move, and, like find a genie bottle, rub it together, and poof, it happens. No, it's not magic. Here's what I suggest you do. I'm not gonna keep answering the same question over and over and over again because I get it every single week. And so here's what I'm gonna do for you. There is a page on my website. This is Project Help You Grow. Ask Ira Job Seeker Q&A. You can come and watch any of these episodes, and I address that question ad nauseum. The other thing that you could do if you want, like maybe you don't like to watch videos, so then you could come here and you can click on older entries, and then you can search. Oh, well, there's this one. The practical pathway to getting your work visa. Now, there is another one. For some reason, there's two of my, I think it's the cache memory. But anyways, there's two of my articles. The one is the one I just showed you, the ATS one. And the other one is this one. You're going to have to write another blog, apparently, because two of them aren't showing up for some reason in this list. And they need to be, because one of them is directly answering your question, but it's not showing up here. So this is kind of a bummer. There's this thing called cache memory. It's supposed to help websites load faster. I would have to clear my cache. So, but anyways, there's another one on there, and it was written by me, but I'm going to show you. I'll show you a way to get around this. I did a podcast with one of my good friends. Her name is Juliana Robbie. She is one of, I think, the foremost experts on this topic. Like when you really want to do the work and not just hit the genie lamp. You know what I mean? So here it is. It's right there. It's the very first one. I leave it in the first spot because it is a question that I get. Raju, in all seriousness, I get it every single time I do the show. So how to find a job in a foreign country with Juliana Robbie. Watch this Interview. Okay. So watch this. It's like 15 minutes long. So it's 16 minutes long. So we talk about this in detail here, and then also,
Thank you.
yeah. So you can find her here on LinkedIn, and she can help you too. But I do have a blog. I'll try and pull it up here, see if I can get my cache to clear out, and I'll find it, and then I'll load that. But it takes a lot of work. This is not magic. And let me, never mind. I'm not even going to go down this road. Just do some homework on Project Help You Grow, and you'll get there. Because I'm going to get angry. Because there's too many of you guys that are in fantasy land and not reality. And I don't know if that's you or not. But when I hear things like I'd like to live somewhere like Canada or the United States, like, do you have any idea how many places there are that you could live and work inside of Canada or the United States, which is a lot larger in options? The land mass of Canada is, I think I figured this out, like 2 or 3 times that of India. Okay, you have more people, but there's more geographical land in Canada. So where in Canada would you like to live? And have you ever dealt with snow before? Because if you think you're not going to have to deal with snow in Canada, you haven't thought about this. So think about stuff like that. What kind of, anyways, there's so much to think about, and most people don't. Yeah, that's not new for me. If you go and look at my blog at Project Help You Grow, I have a article that I wrote. I think it was a couple years ago. I'm gonna find it real quick and I'll pull it up. It is searching for a job like a job seeker. 5 tips to searching for a job like a sales pro. I think is what I called it. Here we go. 5 steps to looking for a job like a sales pro. That's what I called it. Here we go. So this was January 2019. I wrote this article, but there are a lot of correlations. You know, if you're making an analogy, drawing an analogy from the sales process to the job search process, it's very similar. And so I teach you how to do that in this article right here. Again, what are the most valuable things that I offer on Project Help You Grow? And again, this is 100% free. You don't have to have an account, log in, or even you don't have to pay. There's no premium service. There's no nothing. Everything's free. So what is the value of Project Help You Grow? Well, one of the values is, this information that can help you go from being stuck to landing a job a lot faster. And then, of course, the other part is the SEO boost that I give you. And they're both free. So there's no reason for you not to do it. Hi from Kenya. Hi from Nigeria. I've never heard of this. Is this in India? Tamil Nadu. I've never heard of that place. So that's cool. If you have a successful recording during 6 years in a corporate organization, but unfortunately terminated due to normalization in a specific country, try to stay with the organization searching an other country, or forget that and searching another company, kindly advised. So we're having a little bit of trouble here because the English is not great. I'm going to presume that English is not the first language, which is completely understandable. So let me do my best to explain what I think you're asking and then answer that. Okay. It sounds like you were laid off. I was laid off in June. I was furloughed in May, laid off in June. So I can relate to this, I think. Okay. I worked for the largest company in the world who does what they do, which is reprographics, large format printing, largest company in the world. It was the second time I worked for them. They knew me. I knew them. We liked each other, right? It was love at first sight. It was like, let's marry each other. And I moved down here and I was going to retire with them. That was the plan. They knew that. I knew that. Everybody knew that. Let's go. It was exciting. Then COVID-19 hit and I got laid off. So here's the deal. Your story is not uncommon. So don't feel bad about that. 6 years is a good amount of time. I had only been there for 6 months. I had moved down here in December of 2019, relocated just for this job. Wonderful that I lost. So excited. So your story is actually not horrible. Now, looking in another country or looking in the same country, here's what I would recommend. If you do want to move to another country, find a job in the country you're in doing the same thing, type of work and everything, right? So you should be able to find a job pretty quickly. But find a job where they have offices in other locations, and then after working with them for a while, you can ask for a transfer. And that's the strategy that could work for you. Okay. If that wasn't the question, or if that was an answer you don't like, go ahead and ask me a follow-up question. I'd be happy to talk to you about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't think people need to be homeless to appreciate having things, but I think that my journey through finances, and what's funny is, as a kid, I was poor. It wasn't because I was making bad decisions. It wasn't, I wasn't the one responsible to pay the bills or anything. I was just along for the ride. But I certainly got to experience, things like what government cheese and powdered milk tastes like for years. I lived in all kinds of different places. I lived in, rooms that you rent by the day, and, you know, these extended stay motels, and we lived with all kinds of different family members and friends. And then there was a time, like I said, that my dad and I just didn't have any place to live. So we lived on the street. So that was fun. So, it happens. But that journey also taught me a lot. It taught me how to work. It taught me how to value money. I don't waste money. I'm not necessarily as thrifty as some people, because I understand the value of time, but I certainly don't waste my money. I don't live above my means. So I'm appreciative for it. Anyone who wants to connect with me, welcome. There you go. And I suggest that you all connect with each other. Why not? You're job seekers, can help each other out. That was the how to earn the interview link there. Okay, any question about resume order? Is it better to include your skills at the beginning of the resume or at the end? Now, that's going to depend a little bit. That's a question that I would have to know just a little bit more. So here's the things that can determine that. I do not recommend using an objective statement anymore. So what I do on mine, in fact, you know what? I'm just going to open my resume up. How about that? I just show you guys my resume. Now, in full disclosure, I'm going to show you a resume that I actually send to people as a free template. Okay. So it's not going to have all my contact information on it. It has generic stuff, but this is basically my resume from a couple years ago. Hang on a second, I gotta just move this over here, and Microsoft wants to update, as it always does every time I open it. I don't understand that either, but okay. So let's go to a resume. Actually, I'm going to do this. Here's how I do it. Okay. I do have 5 skills at the very top. Okay. So name, address, and then these are 5 skills. They're like elements that define me as a professional: critical thinker, sales generator, teacher, rapport builder, and communicator. Those are the 5 attributes that describe me the best professionally. Okay. Then what do I have? I have a professional summary here. Okay. BS educated, business administration, and print sales professional. Broad set of skills across blah, 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 blah. Right. So that's my professional summary. Now I have my core competencies and achievements next. Okay. So this is tangible. Let me look you in the face here. Tangible things that you can prove. I won Salesman of the Year in 2008 with 77% growth rate. It's on there because people like data points. Like, you can have all kinds of fluff. I'm a great communicator. I'm a great farmer. I'm a great hunter. I'm a great blah, 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 blah. Whatever it is that you want to say about yourself. But they look at data points with a whole different set of credibility. because it isn't you bragging about yourself. It's you telling them an achievement. So if you've won an award, if you've gotten a certification, you have tangible results. Like, for example, I grew by 100,000 people on LinkedIn in 2019. That's something that it's quantifiable. So that could be on a resume. No, it's not, but it is something that many of you could put on there, depending on what type of job you're going for. Okay. So again, back to the full screen. Next, I go into employment history. So let's recap here. I've got the 5 attributes. I've got my professional summary. I've got core competencies. And then halfway down the first page, I start employment history. Okay. So this was my current job in 2019, not in 2020. I had left them for the other one. They just never made the list here. And I don't care. I don't need a resume anymore because I'm a business owner. But here we go. So employment history for 10 years. Okay. Then after 10 years, I switched it up and I created a new section called earlier working experience. And look what I did. I stripped out the dates. I stripped out the descriptions, but I left in the company name, the title, and the locations that I worked. Because in this particular company at this particular time, I worked for them in 2 different locations. Okay. In Dublin, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Same with all that. Now, education. No high school on here. This is the end of the resume, by the way. 2 pages, the end of the resume with education. I don't have high school on there. I don't have San Jose State. I went to San Jose State. Hang on a second. All right. I went to 2 colleges. I went to San Jose State and I went to Liberty University. Now, I went to San Jose State for a longer period of time, for 6 years in total, actually. Okay. So 6 years of San Jose State, but no degree. That's why it's not on my resume. There's no point. They really just want to see that you graduated. They want to know what your degree is in. Well, I have a bachelor's of science in interdisciplinary studies. I graduated with a GPA of 3.91 and I graduated in 2013. Now, guess what I would do in 2023? I'm going to pull that off. Bye-bye. Just the date. I'm not going to have the dates on there if they're older than 10 years. Now, I'm telling people for education, you can go as long as 15 years. Why do we do that, Ira? So glad you asked. Let me show you why. You can come to podcasts. No. Yes. No. Sorry. Can't come to podcasts. You'd have to go to my YouTube channel. But you can come to blog, and you should. You should be checking my blog every week, guys. You really should, because there's so much on here. But counterpunching ageism. Ageism is a real problem, and it starts in your 40s, okay? So read this article, and you'll understand why I do all the things I do with the dates on my resume and the resume advice I give to others. And then I'll teach you how to beat it. Now, you can watch the video here if you don't want to follow me on YouTube, but I'd appreciate it if you do. I actually, because I make videos for a living with Bowman Digital Media, I make videos every day. Not to brag, but, my channel actually has some cool stuff on it. So check it out. But you can watch this video right here in the, that's a cool graphic, right? I like that. Bowman Digital Media. Anyways, watch this video and then read the rest of the article. Okay. How to, set up your resume. I link it right there inside the article. Okay. So that's an internal link. But anyways, read this thing because this will teach you all about ageism and how to overcome it. Okay. Anyways, that was a lot of time to spend on that one question, but hopefully that was good for you guys. Let's see where we at here. I don't remember exactly where I was. Oh, I was with this question right there. Okay. Yeah, that's what I knew. That's what she was talking about. It's funny that it's a story. It's not really a story. It's just the history of my life. I used to not tell people all the stuff that happened to me. Right? I've had some bad stuff. I mean, we all have. And you can let the bad stuff weigh you down and be an excuse of why you don't succeed, or you can deal with that, process that, but at the same time, still shoot for your dreams. And I choose to thrive. I'm not gonna let mistakes of my parents or my own personal bad decisions as I became an adult stop me from accomplishing all I can. And that's one of the reasons why I run Project Help You Grow. I'm trying to help others, you know, accomplish their goals too. I have like a tough love mentality because, you can come to me with your sob story. And it's not that I won't be empathetic, but I'm still going to say, okay, but you're still the master of your own destiny, right? I mean, for the most part, we are. You make decisions every day to work harder or to slack off. You make decisions every day to save your money or to waste your money. You know what I mean? To read the book or to binge watch Netflix. What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your resources? Those decisions that you make every single day are consequential and it adds up. And over a lifetime, just being 1% harder working, 1% smarter with your investments can make a huge difference. And at the end of your life, you can blame everybody else for why you didn't accomplish your goals, or you can look at everybody else and go, look, you can make a difference. I started when I was 30. I started when I was 40. But every single day from that point forward, I worked and I got to look, I own 3 businesses. Now, I don't make money with Project Help You Grow. So it's not something that, it's not something that the IRS is going to consider a success, right? But it is a business and I do own it. I own Bowman Coaching. I started that in 2019 because too many of you guys were asking me for job seeking, or no, I'm sorry, not job seeking, networking advice on LinkedIn, how to build a network. And I just couldn't keep up with the demand for free with my time. So I started charging, and that helped me reduce the people asking for help. But I still get paid to do that. And that website, if you're curious, is irabowman.com. You can just, it's my name, IRABOWMAN.com. Check that out. I made that website. It's kind of cool. So that was my first website that I built. Project Help You Grow, I didn't build it. I own it, but it was built for me by my friends over at Dealers League. And specifically, it was Michael Massa who built it for me. And then Joseph, his partner, kind of took over running it for me there at the end. But, those guys, they built it, they maintained it, they helped me with it for a couple of years. And then when I launched Bowman Digital Media, it was like, well, okay, guys, I'm now getting paid by other people to create websites. So it doesn't feel right to pay you to maintain my site for me. It was kind of like paying somebody to do your chores. So anyways, I took it over. And as you guys probably know, it was a little bit of growing pains there, switching the servers and getting the links all to be fixed because a lot of the links were broken with like a temp server location as we were switching the servers over. And then, so there was a little bit of growing pains there. But, if I had kept the poor me stuff, and I haven't even talked about all this, the crap I've gone through, just a little bit. The homeless part is just that's really a minor part of my story. Honestly, there's a lot of things I could tell you that probably make your jaw drop, but that's life. Life happens to us. Sexual abuse. Yeah, that happened to me. Addicted to things I shouldn't be addicted to. Yeah, that's part of my story too. So again, don't let bad things, whether you're directly responsible for them or it was just something that happened to you, don't let that stop you from being successful. That's real world life advice from Ira. Okay. Need assistance, sir. You are in the right place. What do you need assistance with? Concerning the resume, if you're fresh from college, can you include practical classes, independent projects as experience? Yes and no. Classwork, coursework, you could include it if you worked on a project. So this is where you need to really be careful here. But yes, you can write, like if you worked on You worked on a project for a quarter, so it's 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, something like that. Or maybe you did, a year-long project. That's even better. Internships, volunteering, projects, those all can count as experience. Now, there's an expression, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So not every employer is going to consider it actual experience, but some of them will. So you put it on there, and then what happens is what happens. Now, I have a blog on advice for jobs or for freshers. Okay. So I'm going to pull it up real quick and then I'll show you. And I'll put the link in the comments for you here. It's called Think Outside the Box. Okay. Here it is. It's building blocks freshers can use to land a job. Building blocks freshers can use to land a job. Okay. So anyways, here, volunteering for the community, find an internship, ministry opportunities. That says professional interviews. What that means is informational interviews is actually the right way to say that. Okay. Think outside the box. So you're on the right track. Go ahead and read this article and it'll help you. I just put that in the comments for you. Okay. So it's right here. Go ahead and grab that up and then that will help you with some ideas that you can use to fill up your resume. As a fresher, somebody straight out of college, you're talking about a 1-page resume anyways. So you don't have to worry about having too much stuff on there. They know you don't have a lot of experience and they're going to pay you accordingly. Okay. So there's that. Although I will say a lot of jobs now, even straight out of college, they want you to have 2 to 3 years experience. So that's why this is important. I told my daughter, I've got 2 kids in college right now, and I told them both, I said, look, you need to work while you're in school so that when you graduate with that degree, you have some actual real world work experience. My daughter actually is going to school on a work program, and she's not only getting experience, they're going to pay for her senior year. So she gets a little bit of money now, but she gets a free senior year of school, which is awesome. But even more valuable than all that is on her resume, when she graduates with her bachelor's degree, she'll have 4 years of actual work experience. Plus, she's working for me on the side, which is awesome. So she's handwriting letters for me. She's like my secretary. She needs to work. I don't like to handwrite letters. And there you go. Okay, let's see. Where are we at? Where did I get to? I got to right here. Okay, so that was Joe Flicks. And thanks for the question, by the way. Hello from Kenya. Hello, Saddam. How are you? From India. Very good. It is now 10:33 at night in India. So thanks for staying up with me. South Africa. Is it? Let's see. I think it's 8 o'clock. Is it 8 o'clock at night there? I think so. Hello from the DRC. Hello. Quite a few from Africa today. I have an interview this coming Friday. My previous employer used to pay 13th salary, but the prospective employer doesn't. They want to know my previous salary. How can I capture the 13th pay? All right. This is a little bit beyond me because I'm not from Africa. So I don't understand this actually. I would need a little bit more information. But let me address pay a little bit. When you are looking for a job anywhere, I don't care if it's in Africa or California or London, excuse me for yawning, wherever you're from, when you're looking for a job, I was off. It's only 7. Thanks for that though. I love knowing what time it is. I don't know why. This is one of those things. It helps me feel more connected to you guys, honestly, to know where you are and to know what time it is. I like it. So right now it's 10:04 a.m. on Saturday here in normally sunny, but still foggy Southern California. Okay. So let's talk about pay. I do discuss this in detail in a blog called Winning the Interview. So if you want to check this out, you can. I'll pull it up so you can see it. I'm going to put this down. Okay. So I talk about there it is right here. Salary request. Okay. So the final step in the process is to prepare the question that you know is coming. How much do I care? Oh, how much? I was like, what? That doesn't even make sense. They're going to ask you how much money do you want to make, right? You've got to do some research to answer this question. Now, I am impressed with you, Matilda, because you have already shown me that you're doing some. You expect this question, you're anticipating it, you're preparing for it. Bravo. Because believe it or not, a lot of people don't do this, which baffles my mind. But now let me get into some advice, which is what you're here for. First of all, read this blog, okay? I'm going to put it in the comments for you so you can just go right to it, okay? So there it is. In case you're curious, it's right there. Win the interview, okay? Come down to salary request. You can read the whole article. You should, because it'll all help you with your interview, okay? And congratulations, by the way, for earning the interview. That is a good thing. So you want to earn the interview, and then you want to win the interview, because you don't get paid, as you know, until they actually hire you. So you need to ask a couple things. You need to ask them how they handle or address promotions and raises. Here's the question, right? You need to address that. Ask about it. Most companies are stingy with raises these days. So if you accept a job where they've offered you a certain amount of pay, now I don't understand what you mean by 13th, okay? That probably means more to you than it does to me, I'm going to presume. But let me tell you in a way that I understand it, and hopefully this makes sense to you. If they lowball an offer, so you're going to learn what the market rate is. You can do this. You still have time, okay? Research what the going rate is for the type of job that you're applying for in the area that you are, because that's all that really matters. It doesn't matter what they pay us here in Los Angeles, California, if you're living in South Africa, right? It doesn't matter. What do they pay there in your city, in your country? There's going to be a range, you know. Let's just use easy numbers. Let's say it's somewhere between $30,000 a year and $50,000 a year. Well, that's a big range, but that's kind of typical. Okay. Now, with that information, I also want you to consider things like, how much money does it take me to live the quality of life that I'm accustomed to? Maybe it only takes, let's just be kind and let's say it takes $40,000 a year. In Southern California, you can't live on that, but maybe in where you are, you can live comfortably, right? And that's where every place is different. So for better or for worse, you know, we need different amounts of money. Plus, I have 8 kids in Southern California, so I really have to make a lot of money. But I digress. So here we go. How much money does it take for you to pay your bills? I want you to build in some things like cost of living increases. In California, every year our cost of living goes up, right? Everything goes up. Gas, power, food, taxes. Everything goes up, everything except for our pay. Cost of living increases are no longer, or I'm sorry, cost of living pay increases are no longer common. You work at a place, they'll pay you $36,000 a year, and next year they're going to pay you the same $36,000 a year. Well, you can only work there for so many years without a pay increase before you have to either A, get another job, or B, turn everything off. Like people get rid of their cable, for example, or they get rid of their cell phone, or they, you know what I mean? All these things that you can do to reduce some of your expenses so you can hang in there a little bit. But many of us have to work a second job now That's what I mean by get another job. Get a second job. You need a second source of income. And that's to compensate for not getting a cost of living increase from your employer. It's it is what it is. It's just simple math, right? So if you get used to living on $36,000 a year and you set your budget up for that, and then you don't make adjustments next year to reduce some of your expenses because of the cost of living increase, you'll no longer be able to afford your life. And if you do that for 2 or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So then people get credit cards and they spend money they really don't have. I mean, it's a dangerous thing. So what I want you to do is I want you to know, identify, and only you can do this. What are your expenses? Add everything up. This is what I pay for my mortgage or my rent. This is what I pay for my power. This is what I pay for my health care. This is what I pay for food, eating out. This is what I pay for entertainment, like going to the movies or renting movies or cable. You understand? Get it all there. Then what are you saving? Do you have any savings every month? A lot of you guys don't, but you should. What are you putting away every month in savings? Do you have a savings account? You should be saving some money too. So you have all your expenses plus what you want to save. You add that up. And then what I say is you add some buffer in there, 2% up to 10%, depending on how comfortable you are with that. Now you know what you need to make. So now you know what the market bears and you know what you need to make. And then when they make you an offer, this is why we ask, how do you handle raises and promotions? If they tell you point blank in the interview, we don't do annual raises anymore. You're going to get a performance raise somewhere down the road, but it's usually not for a couple of years. If they tell you that, then you know. If they don't tell you, assume that. I want you to safely assume you will not get a raise for 3 years. So when you get that offer, you know what the going rate is in the market, you know what you need to make to pay your bills, and you know you're not going to get a raise for 2 to 3 years. Now, do you want to live on that salary, not only today, but for the next 3 years? See what I mean? If you go into it that way, you won't accept a crap offer because it's a negotiation every single time. You don't know this about me probably, but I'm a former hiring manager. I was given a budget. I can hire people for this amount of money, not a penny over. If it was over, what I'd have to do is I'd have to call my boss and he'd have to call the owner of the company to get the approval. And many times I tried, many times I was denied because it's a business. There's a budget. So unfortunately, because so many of you are desperate for a job right now, you'll accept any offer they give you, but then you're just setting yourself up for future misery. I would rather you say no to a bad offer than accept it. Again, I make tough love decisions. I don't, the reason why I don't have 2 million followers is because I don't say everything that makes you feel good and what you want to hear. I tell you the truth, like fatherly advice, right? Not that I'm your father, but anyways, hopefully that helps you. Okay. Until the 13th salary means we're paid, and 13 is always at 12. December, we get double pay. The prospective employer doesn't pay such. Okay. So we actually have something like that in the United States too. A lot of people get paid every other week, but because there's 52 weeks, right? That would be 26 checks. Some people, instead of doing that, they get paid twice a month. And that is not as common, where you get a check on the 1st and a check on the 15th, usually is the way they do that. So that's less common in the United States than getting paid every 2 weeks. A paycheck every other Friday, basically, is the way that it works. So you really can't change that. There's nothing, if they pay, the company pays with a payroll service. They're not going to change it for you. You're just going to have to learn to adjust your, spending, right? So it might be hard for you to do that, but that's not a negotiable thing. I don't know of any company in the United States that has 2 different pay styles, where some are paid every other Friday, and some are paid just on the 1st and the 15th. I don't know any company that uses both accounting methods, because that's really what it is. It's an accounting method. So you just have to learn to, if you accept the job, you'll have to learn to accept that. And how do you even know that? I'd be curious to know how you know that. Have you already had an interview and asked that question? I mean, did you do research and find that out? That's interesting that you would know that ahead of the interview, presuming that's the first interview. Maybe you've already had one. I'm interested in a field of operations and want to become a professional lead in it. How do I make it up with MBA, 7 years of operations experience, and some careers-based certificates? I don't understand the question. You're interested in the field of operations, but you already have 7 years of experience? Or you need 7 years of experience, but you don't have it? I don't understand the question. It's probably, again, it's English is not your first language. I get it, right? I'm not calling you stupid. I don't understand the question. So explain the question for me a little bit better. And we are over time, so please do it quickly so I can help you. Thank you very much. See, I can learn stuff on the show from you guys, which I love it. Oh, maybe that's how she knows, because it's a different region. So yeah, again, as I've explained, in the United States, we don't do one check a month. I don't know how you guys do that. How do you? That would take a big adjustment for me to only get paid once a month. Now, as a business owner, I get checks all the time. They come in. I don't get a paycheck anymore. I just get, paid for invoices. So my checks come in all the time. But I don't think I ever only got paid once a month in my whole career. That's a challenge. But in the United States, again, it's very common. These are the two most common ways. One check every other Friday, which is the most common. That's 26 checks a year. Or less common, but usually more with like government jobs and things like that. You get a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th. So twice a month. There is no, like, this check is bigger than that check. All the checks are exactly the same. You know what I mean? But most people they look at it as extra money, which it's really not, because, you're just getting a check every other week. But, they look at the 2 months where they get an extra, quote unquote, extra check as extra money. I never could mathematically make that work out in my mind. I'm sure there are companies that pay. I mean, because legally they can pay any way they want. I just never worked for any, and I don't know of any. So, do you know of any off the top of your head, Candy? Because I don't know of any. It is important and necessary to have LinkedIn Premium to increase networking and reach out to people. No, it is not. I do have LinkedIn Premium only because I'm a business owner, not because it's necessary to build my network. LinkedIn Premium has not helped me add one single person to my network. So you don't need it. If you want to grow your network, you know what you really need to do? You need to get involved with me on Follow Me Fridays and engage in the comment section, because that's how you build your networks. You're going to talk to people. Doing what you did just right now, that helps you, because this show will be seen probably by 2,000 people, which is a very small amount for what I do, right? The live shows that I run, right now we have 10 people on, but it'll be seen because it'll live as a video in my account, and I have 200,000 followers. So more people will see it later, is what I'm trying to tell you. But my text only post, Follow Me Friday, that one typically, and there's one running from yesterday right now. You could join it. Just go to my profile, look at my post from yesterday, and jump in the comments. Those posts typically get somewhere between 100 and 200,000 views. So what you do is, I always ask icebreaker questions. Everybody in there is looking to grow. So you have people that are already excited about this idea of, hey, how do I meet new people? I want new followers. I want new connections. That's how you build it. You talk to people. You don't spam them. I'm not saying that you would, but obviously people do, right? You don't spam them. And you engage. You engage with them. And that's how you build your network. So I didn't know that. I don't know that I've never heard that before. So I'll have to look into that. That's interesting. And if they do pay people once a month, I know that they also pay more than once a month because I know people that work there that get paid more than that. So that's interesting. Yes, especially when they're commissioned. Well, yeah, again, no. I'm going to call BS on that. The commission check comes once a month. I've been in sales for over 20 years. I mean, I live on commission, right? Not anymore, but so the commission checks do, but usually they get, in case you guys don't know, for your own edification, I guess, typically they'll get a check in the middle, even if they don't earn a salary and they only have commission, they get what they call a draw check. Okay. That's what it's called, draw. So what happens is, let's say you get a commission only job for $40,000 a year, $48,000 a year, whatever it is. They usually just take that number, split it in half. They pay you in advance on that part, and then they settle the account on the final check. That's how it typically works. But most commission jobs are not. You only get paid once a month. You usually get a draw. That's where the draw came in. In Kenya, we're paid once a month. I did research, talked to somebody working there. Yeah, so that's not common over here. But now I know how you know that, so that's pretty cool. Amazon for salaried positions. Yeah, so yeah. And that's a case where they have two different styles, which again is not common. But if that's how Amazon's doing it. I don't know that I guess I've worked with anybody from Amazon that's doing a salaried position. I've never talked to them about their pay. That's interesting. I did not know that. Sorry you didn't get. That's okay. I have all I said above. Still not feeling comfortable to explore my career forward with what I have. Oh, okay. So you do have 7 years experience, but you want to progress advance in management. Okay. So 7 years of operations experience with a master's degree, and you want to climb the ladder. And I think that that's perfectly reasonable, Arif. I don't think you're off at all. Here's what I'm going to tell you. What I think you should do, I call it an informational interview. I'm going to pull this thing up because here's what it is. An informational interview. I want you to reach out to somebody who is doing the work that you want to do now, right? They already have the job that you want. Now, obviously, it's probably going to be with a different company. But here's what it is. Okay, I'm gonna underwrite this for you. Okay, the power of informational interviews. In this case, you would be the younger person talking to the older person, but it's not about age. Okay, what it's really about is they have more experience than you do because they're further along in their career than you are. I am not from operations. Now, I have had some operational type roles, but I've always been from the sales side and the creative side, not the operations side, right? And there's a difference. So what you want to do is find somebody who has that job and then interview them. How? I teach you how in this article. Again, it's free. So why reinvent the wheel? Informational interviews allow you to talk to people who've already done what you've done or done what you want to do, and they can give you advice on how they did it. They can also give you advice on if they were starting over and were where you are now, how would they go about taking that next step or two to get where you want to go? Okay. The other thing I love about it, and I've got, as you can see, there's quite a bit of information in here. Okay. I teach you what questions to ask, how long to run it, what to do after to follow up. So all of this, again, is free. Just come here and read it. It's the power of the informational interview. Okay. I will put this in the comments section. Now, one of the fringe benefits of this, if you do it right, okay, if you do the informational interview correctly, one of the fringe benefits a lot of times happens. They start to take you under their wing, and you can start to look at them as a mentor. They have usually more connections in that industry than you do because they're further along. They've been in it longer, usually. So not only can they give you the information in their brain, they also can open up their Rolodex, their network, and start to helping connect you to other people. The informational interview is something most people aren't doing, but it makes me wonder why. I think it's because people know about it. So I'm trying to help people know about it. Because if I was looking for a job right now, I wouldn't be going through job listings. I'd be asking questions of people who have the work that I want or that are even the next level up and asking them for advice. Get them to take an interest in you. Get them to help you. They've been successful. They have experience. Yeah, that is based on draw. Draw is the predominantly common thing for sales. If you don't know that, I'm just going to tell you in case you guys are sure. Every company is different. That's what's great about America. As long as they're paying the minimum wage, there is actually no regulation or stipulation to the interval in time in those regulations. So, but it depends on the state. It depends on the company. Depends on the type of job that you have. So the industry standards are important. And again, like I just learned in Kenya, they don't pay the 13th, right? I didn't even know that existed. Now I know something about it, which is kind of cool. So close to 10 years working as an executive assistant. How do I get in international job opportunities? One thing has nothing to do with the other. So the number one thing that you can do right now, if you want to get an international opportunity, is work remotely from where you are. You won't move, but if you really want to work for somebody internationally, that's one way you can do it. You can transfer. You can get a job locally at an international company and then transfer. Those are your two best options. Not what you want to hear probably, but that is the truth. Hey, it's my pleasure to help, Arif. That's what I'm here for. These questions are hard because they're not prepared. Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, so do you get a list of questions before the show and do your research? How do you answer them on the fly? I'm like, no, it's live fire questions, and I have no idea what you guys are going to ask. And I don't have no way of preparing. So it's kind of like a pop quiz for me every week. It's like, oh, what about the 13th? And I'd never heard of that. So, sometimes I feel stupid, but that's okay. I'm here to help you. And it's not about me. It's about how I can help you. So anyways, we're over time. I like to keep these shows to an hour, and we're at an hour in 18 minutes and 31 seconds. So I am going to sign off now. It's Saturday, but I will be back on in 13 and a half hours. I do a Saturday show that starts at midnight my time. It'll be Sunday for all of you, unless you're in California or Hawaii. Okay. I don't know that I have anybody who watches my show from Hawaii, actually. So I think all of you guys are at least my time zone or later. So I do it because in India, most of the time I'm live, it's really late for you guys. And I feel bad about that. I really do. But, it's because for me right now, it's 10:28 in the morning. I can't change where I live. I live where I live. And it is what time it is. So on Saturday nights, I stay up. Well, it's actually not late for me. I'm up this time every day. Anyways, but I come on late. And I don't get anybody from the United States. Nobody from the United States watches my show on Saturday night, but I call it international networking. And it works out pretty good because in Europe, like London, it's 8 a.m. in the morning on Sunday. And for you in India, it's 12:30. It's just after lunch. Okay. So the time zone works out pretty well. Even in Australia, it's like 9 at night. So it's not too bad, right? So it works for everywhere, but like the United States. And that's fine. I get to talk to them all the time. So it's called International Networking. It's a lot of fun. So I'll be on. That's the next time you can catch me. I do the Job Seeker Show on Saturdays and Mondays. And then I have on Tuesdays, I do speed networking with Mike and Ira. And then Wednesday, I'm going to show you guys. Actually, I've got this thing called the Ira Guide. So I'm just going to pull it up. Okay. So this is where you can find me. Okay. Mondays, Ask Ira. Tuesdays, Speed Networking. Wednesdays, Cup of Joe. That's early. So that's 6 a.m. my time. These are all times are Pacific. So at 6 a.m. my time, that's 6:30 p.m. in India, for example, right? So 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Africa, for example, right? Thursday, I do an early morning show. It's Exit Your Way Roundtable. Follow me live is Fridays, and then you're on the show right now. Ask Ira Job Seeker Q&A on Saturdays. So anyways, there it is. Use information and link shared above. Apply for jobs. I think it's the only option for you to get job offers outside your location. Yeah. Let me help you all out. 8 out of 10 people. 8. So there's 10 people in the room, or however many are in the room. Most of you would not find a job using a link to I don't care if it's ZipRecruiter. Look, I mean, you name any of the job sites, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, go to any of them. Doesn't matter. 2 out of 10, 20% of people are finding jobs right now because of job boards. 8 out of 10 people are finding them in other ways, mostly networking. So instead of wasting all day clicking on job opportunities that you're not going to get hired that way. You would be far better off spending 40 hours a week doing informational interviews with people, building your network, and looking for jobs that way than you would be by spending all day clicking on job listings and hitting that apply button. It's not the way to do it. But again, what do I know? Middle East, it's 8:29 p.m. now in Qatar. Yes. Yeah. So that's what I mean. That's why, sometimes when I come on early in the United States, it does help you. But when I'm on at midnight, my time, it's the middle of the day for you guys, which is pretty cool. Thank you for all your time. You're welcome. Not sure what this is about. There's a side conversation I missed somehow. She has an idea. Oh, that's cool. There you go. I like it. Help each other out. That's what this is about too. Okay, so that's been the show. Thank you very much for participating. I appreciate all the questions. Hopefully I got to them all. I think I did. If I missed your question, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to miss you. But thanks for joining. And I will see you guys later tonight if you are up for it. My name is Ira Bowman, and this has been Job Seekers Q&A. And today is October 24th, 2020. See y'all later.